What's up, lovely YouTube people? Today I have with me this absolutely gorgeous McLaren 600LT. Now I know these have been out for some time. This is a 2019 model. However, this is not your standard 600LT. This one has the MSO track pack, which means it has all the carbon fiber options except the carbon roof scoop, but it does have the carbon roof. What I really like about this particular 600LT with the MSO track pack is not just the fact that it's riddled with carbon fiber and all the noticeable stuff, but also the little details such as the blue brake calipers to match the blue harnesses, the seat belts here, the harnesses that are attached to the black roll bar, and also complementing the blue stitching on the car. It's really nice. I like cars with a certain contrast, and this one definitely has it. I've not really seen a 600LT before with harnesses. I've mostly seen them without. I've seen some with Senna seats and some with the sport seats. Now I've been driving this car a while, and obviously I've driven other 600LTs, not one that's riddled with all the track features like this, or the carbon fiber, but I love comparing it to the bigger brother platform, the 765LT, because I know the 765LT is more power. It's based on the 720 platform. People really admire and love that car, and I really do. That car is a specimen of performance on the road. But honestly, I love the way the 600LT drives. I think it is the most fun McLaren. I used to think the 570S was the most fun McLaren until I got into a 600LT, and that's when I discovered that these cars are really cool. The 600LT is basically McLaren's version of Porsche's GT3 RS, let's say, and the 765LT is the Porsche's version of the GT2 RS. So what does that mean? That means this one is actually more preferred for the track. It's more mechanical. The 765 is very techy. It's very quick and undeniably a little bit faster, but what I love about this is that this is basically the fun McLaren. This is the McLaren that you really can track often, and it's not got electric suspension and all that. It's actually got proper coilovers in there, and there's no active aero such as the 720S or the 765LT. You have an actual fixed mounted wing, and I love the fact that you have this in carbon fiber, this in carbon fiber, but why the heck didn't they make the whole wing in carbon fiber? Because it's literally positioned in front of a flamethrower here, which are the exhausts, and I love that on the 600LTs in general. But looking at this car is just wonderful to admire the carbon fiber. What's interesting to me, I found on all 600LTs is the positioning of the rear view camera. I love the diffuser to be clean and crisp. McLaren decided to put it here up under the reverse light, and yes, this is the reverse light that you get when you're reversing. Nothing changes up here. These glow red. This will just light up in white to tell you that you're going to reverse. The steering is so sharp and precise. We're gonna get in the car now and I'm gonna go for a little drive. Thankfully, I have permission to use all these private roads for myself. And yeah, so let's get in the car and see how the thing drives. And I'm gonna show you why this car is super special, even opposed to its big brother, the 765LT and other platforms. You're gonna love this thing. Okay, so we're gonna go to track. Okay, so that's what's amazing. On track, you just get the RPMs, which I absolutely love. I love when you're driving, these actually light up. And yeah, when it comes to the traction control system, so let's say I put it on track mode and I want to turn off traction control, right? The initial click is not really, but you have to be really careful, please. The initial click is just to put it in dynamic. When you really want to turn it off, you have to hold it for, I don't know, 5 seconds, and then it tells you to confirm the selection to turn it off, and you click it once and then it glows, and when it glows, that means you're on your own and traction control is completely off. So when you put it in manual and you're going, there you go. While the tires are cold, might as well have a tiny bit of fun. love that pop. I can see the exhaust on the rear view, in the rear view mirror, and it's just absolutely beautiful. You can see the heat waves coming out. It's so fun. Anyways, now let's go to public roads. So let's put it in a normal mode, or let's say sport mode first to start with. And I'm gonna keep it in manual because I like to drive it in manual. So the dash immediately changed. When it's in track mode, you have the main thing which you want to see is the engine RPM. You don't care much about the car speed or anything like that. You just want to see your temperatures, and they're really cool how they do the fuel cluster and the temperature clusters. They're just really nice to look at. They're kind of like techie. And we're about 85% fuel right now. Thank God the roads here are beautiful, really. So cars like this are happy on the road. And I'm not mad that it's a bit cold right now because, well, I'm cold, but the car is happy because turbo cars usually like the colder weather. They enjoy it, and supercharged cars as well. There's a pole here. Let's try to drift this thing. Drift, baby, drift. So there's a pole here. So now we're going back on public roads again. So I want to try it with everything off, just in normal mode. Comfortable, normal. We think of McLarens as being completely and totally different platforms, which they are, obviously, chassis wise and things like that. You had the 12C, you had the 650 platform, you had the 570 platform. So there are a lot of platforms, including the P1 and now the Senna. But what's funny is, from the P1 to the 570s to these McLarens, they all have the same engine. All of them have that 3.8 4.0, basically same block motor that's twin turbo. The P1s is obviously more advanced because of the hybrid technology and all that stuff. But when I think that this car has the same engine as a McLaren P1, and it's a track capable monster at a fraction of the cost, realistically, from a P1, it's just a no-brainer. A car like this for me would make way more sense to own. And I love it. I really love it. I love the fact that you can use it daily with no issues whatsoever. I also think the car community can be a bit mean towards McLaren, because obviously they're not known to be the most reliable cars, but they do work, and especially if you get a good one. Granted, if you get a bad one, secondhand or something, you might struggle with it. But if you, I don't want to say get lucky, but if you end up getting a good McLaren and they work absolutely fantastic. And really, I wish nobody with a McLaren any bad luck. I hope everybody that buys a McLaren gets fantastic reliability over the years. I love how with the 600LT, less is more. You know, already I felt that way with the 765LT, and I like the stripped down, lighter weight, faster performance version. Another thing which is kind of the highlight of the 600LT is the door. And just like the 720s, it has soft closing, so you don't need to smash it. Is look at how many gaps there are within the door to go to the radiators. I mean, it's beautiful. In carbon fiber. You got this coming in from here. It's like one door on a car, which is usually just one piece or two pieces. This one looks like it's a couple of pieces kind of put together, and it's really stunning. It's beautiful, obviously functional, not just to cool the car but to create more downforce, being a track car. And another lovely thing that the 600LT has is when you open the door, it kind of breaks away the side skirt. Not many cars have that. The door is usually fixed away from the side skirt. This one you actually take up the side skirt with you, so you basically cut it in half from here, and it's beautiful. And just looking at the exposed carbon fiber, not just the tub itself, but under the door here, this is beautiful. Just looking at it from different angles tells you how special and how much work and craftsmanship goes into things like this. Even the chunky piece on the inside is just really, really cool. I love the fact as well that with McLaren they made the carpet kind of short, which is cool because they wanted to show you the exposed carbon fiber flooring. So you do have the padding and the carpeting here, but you have a little gap here to basically show you that the whole thing is sitting on carbon fiber. Your seats are bolted on a carbon fiber frame. The whole tub is carbon fiber. And knowing me, anything carbon fiber, yes please. And over here you have this warning label which tells you that you can also open the door manually from here, not just from your normal lever, but you can actually manually pull this and you'll open the door in case the battery dies, whatever. You have that option here. With the back, I love looking at engines, and thankfully they left it a bit exposed because you want to see the engine on this car, and this kind of mesh grille here allows you to see the engine. Unfortunately, you can't pop the hood or remove the bonnet of the car because it's left for the McLaren technicians to do so. So they kind of left it that way for people not to be able to mess with it in their house. Here you have the capability to open the front trunk, and over here you have the tow hook. You have also that button on the inside from the center, but this is for when you get out of the car. Especially with these seats, it's not as easy to get back in and out of the car so quickly, but definitely worth it when you're on the track. Another thing that's really cool, worth pointing out, is the front trunk space is not too bad. You have space to put your jacket, your bag, like now I'm putting my drone bag in there, so you still got some space for a lot more stuff. And this is your 12-volt socket here, I'm assuming for trickle charger. You got probably some manuals here, things like that, I don't want to mess with them. And you have the triangle, hazard triangle, tow hook, and some cool little device which I shall research later. It looks like a funnel. This car does have a relatively adequate amount of storage space. Even though it doesn't have a glove compartment, you still have a little compartment here to put your phone, to put documents, things like that. You actually do have a cup holder over there. I'm not sure if they have that option in Europe, but in the US we do have that as an option. And you also have well, a gap here with some rubber to put some things, and in the middle as well here you have that. On the doors you don't really have much, you just have a little net here to put, let's say, a water bottle or something, and you have on the back here a little net that you can put some stuff. But yeah, man, that harness looks cool because you can actually see it from the outside. So let's get moving. As always, you hear me say this a lot when I'm in McLarens, is I love the steering wheel. Simplistic, beautiful, elegant, lovely carbon fiber, and very nice mold. Really not too thick, not too thin. It's really got the perfect grip. I usually am not a fan of carbon paddles that are massive, because even on race cars you don't really have massive carbon paddles, but for some reason on McLaren road cars they work well and they have a really nice feel to them. So that's another thing that's really cool. The interface system is relatively simple. It's the basic 600LT and 570 platform interface. You go to the apps, browsers, maps, you get your user manual there. You want to go back, you got for whoever registers their phone to the car. Here in the US we have Sirius XM, radio, media, you get your audio sources. So again, simplistic, but it's got more than you need. Honestly, I said that before and I'll say it again. Senna seats, which are the raciest carbon bucket seats they have available for the McLaren 600LT, are incredibly comfortable. Really comfortable. I can drive a long time. I can name so many bucket seats, not necessarily carbon fiber, fiberglass, and just composite material that is way less comfortable than this. So it looks so aggressive when you first glance at it because it just looks like it is just padded with a few pads on it. Obviously, depending on your size, these pads can be increased to support you better. Fuel cap, you don't really have a fuel cap. You just open this and you refill it immediately. Insert nozzle properly. Do not top off. It's got a little drain here as well. Look at these little airway vents as well. Behind the painted body there are these little airway vents to help disperse the air, also for better aerodynamics. That's also awesome to see. The wheels are lovely anodized black wheels, but what I love about, again, like the 765LT, like the sports range from McLaren, is the gap from the brake caliper to the wheel is insane. As you can see here, you can barely, I can't even, I don't know, that's probably 3 millimeters or so, because it's really close to the wheel. Not just that, but the disc brake as well. I love cars with big chunky disc brakes. This one doesn't really have much of a gap between it and the wheel. So, and even the caliper itself, the caliper is so close to the wheel itself, so this was fitted perfectly. One thing I'll say about not just the 600LT in general, but about McLarens in general, especially their LT range, their lightweight range, they have one flaw. To me, they're an incredible car. Even the reliability, I think they've been getting a really bad reputation from car people around the world and things like that, but realistically, they're above average in terms of reliability, and they're great for a performance track or supercar, let's say. But the one flaw that I see in this car is the thickness of the glass windshield. Most McLaren owners that I know that have had 600LTs have had a cracked windshield. Not from aggressive driving, just from a little chip or stone on the highway that have just barely touched the windshield can crack it. So that's the one thing I have. I don't know why we're not at a stage where we can use polycarbonate technology or something like that instead of actual thin glass. Maybe glass is clearer. Again, I'm not an engineer, I don't know this stuff. And the people that I know that have had 600LTs that have cracked windshields aren't really driving crazy on the highway. They're going pretty fast. They're going 70, the speed limit, but that was enough for a certain amount of rock. That was enough to crack the windshield. So that's the only thing I have with McLaren's LT models, because they work so hard and so beautifully to make the cars so light, so capable. It's just, it makes it too sensitive for daily use. And I'm not talking about the car, I'm just talking about the windshield. The windshield is the only thing. I should also probably be telling you that the top speed of this car is 204 miles an hour. And the torque is also ridiculous. It's 620 Newton meter. Thanks to this lovely 3.8 liter twin turbo McLaren engine. Anyways guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video on this wonderful McLaren 600LT MSO track pack. Big shout out to my brother Freddie for letting me spend time with this beautiful McLaren 600LT. This thing is an absolute beast. Despite the fact that it's really cold, I'm just brushing away the cold that's almost going to my bones, because this thing is wonderful to spend quality time alone with.